Hi everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Okay, so welcome to our Facebook stream. Just wanted to give you an introduction to a new page that I built over at quantlabs.net/trading. I'll just do a rundown. This will cover now live signals for Forex trading, crypto. I'll be showing hopefully later today the MetaTrader 4 expert advisor. And of course, what I'm about to show you is a deep research as part of this service. Very low price, $67 a month. Won't be keeping it down for very long. It will be going up 50% in the next few days. Okay, so let's see what's going on in the markets right now. You can see after the Saudi Arabia oil attack, here on Yahoo, we are down pretty, not significant, but it's down. Who's going to make money in that? But of course, the little guys, Russell 2000's up. Crude oil has just exploded up to 19% that I last checked on Bloomberg. So also oil and gold will respond as well because it's looked upon as a safe haven. Traditionally, Bitcoin would also be in there as well, but Bitcoin has just not been doing too good, down 1.39, as well as the currencies don't seem to be responding all that much outside the USD, Swiss franc. But another one that a lot of people never talk about is VIX. Look it up; it's up 7.5%. So you could be making money today if you knew where to put it. So today I'm going to show you yet again the quant analytics service, and we're going to take a look at the really big trades. Hopefully they'll come up on the reporting. Here we have, if you ever join, you just sign in here, you should be taken to the dashboard. In here we track Forex, crypto, and CFDs. So Oanda provides the CFD and Forex. That's helped to support the U.S. market as customers. So what we'll look at here is the CFD analysis, tables, and charts. So I'm about to show you I can download. Really all you got to do once you sign up is sign up. And pretty well, all it'll ask for is your name, feed your email, download, and then I'll email you the file I'm about to show you within a second or two. Not very long at all. So here you come under your downloads here on Firefox. So we're going to look at something called Report Data CFD, and that is, as I said, updated every hour. So this is fresh data, and the reason I use CFDs is for the like I like to call the poor man's gateway to the futures and options market. A lot of markets do ban CFDs, specifically the US. There's reasons for that just because of liquidity, but it's still good enough just to watch what's happening in the market. So part of this, every hour, I generate different types of reports. There's the shorting opportunities, which it could generate, but there's no data in it just because I look at the file size. But there is two documents. One for longing based on trend, another one just long, and traditionally I could do one on volume, but it still has to meet certain criteria, and then there's a spreadsheet as well, which pretty well ranks everything available. So I'm going to look at this one right here, just the general long. I think it's going to be one instrument in there, and let's check it out. Now, of course, I would not recommend you to trade these off of Wanda, but this is just to give you an indicator of where the trend has been, and I can confirm that right up to intraday as well. So I can now use this as a way to measure what's happening in the markets. So here we have some longs. So the long, oddly enough, is corn. So here's the latest upswing. That's probably a news item. Here's the Fibonacci levels. You can see there's been some up movement over the last few days. And again, you won't hear about this on news, but these are pretty nice moves. With the RSI moving up, we know with the momentum as well. So this is a potential trading opportunity. And I know that just by looking at these little guys right here over the last few days. So that's in the last September. So you're right now probably missing out on this opportunity as a trade. And RSI's been building. We just starting to hit some momentum. So who knows where this will go. Okay, so that's just one little hint that, again, is under the radar news-wise. But, of course, everyone wants to know what's happening with the big trends, so let's check them out. Now, again, these trends are factored in over the last, I believe it's probably 6 months or a year, so it may not include today's events, specifically the attack in Saudi Arabia. On top of the gold might not be the top ones, but I can check that in the spreadsheet, which I'll show you again. So this is built off of a long-term trend slope. So these are the ones that it will recognize and recommend on top of that. So here you can see why XAG, which is, I believe, silver. You can always go over to something like TradingView and confirm that. TradingView, and you can take a look at, see if these on your own on TradingView. So if I look at, was it XAG USD, USD, let's see if it pops up. So it is silver. ON right there is a data provider, so you can check out these on TradingView on your own, and then you'll see the trends are pretty similar. Thing is, here it's a downslope, and of course it's above trend, but if I show you the 30-day view, you can clearly see that it has come off. You get with these down deep moves, but guess what? We just checked real time, and it's building again. So these are very strong entry potentials. When, once it gets to that positive momentum and it starts to build, as you can see here, this is starting to move. If you know about how I did my studies on the candlesticks, these are potential reversals, but it's all really right now driven by the news. So let's go back over to TradingView. So silver right now is something really to watch. It seems to be outperforming gold as it stands, but here, as you said, has been the sudden rise up, run up, coming off, but it may be bouncing back because of this attack in Saudi Arabia. And again, do I have my signaling? Of course not. But if I look at the intraday, these sudden leg ups. All right, so that confirms that this stuff works. This ain't no hocus pocus stuff. So the next one we are looking at is gold. So right now, if you compare silver versus gold, it looks like silver is outperforming gold, but you can see again, it's above the trend. I can show you specifically what the exact numbers are on the trend if you really wanted to split the hairs. We can do that in the spreadsheet. I'll show you. But again, it's overvalued. But again, these instruments, silver and gold, are news driven. We would be able to see oil in here, WTI or Brent, but because it's been down in the last number of weeks to months, it's only since this attack on Saturday that, out of nowhere, the oil starts to rise 19% move. So it may catch it. I don't know. These are long-term trends. Again, certain things I like to look for, just simple, classic entry points. Right here is where it just builds and the RSI is too high, thus it drops. But if there's enough negative market sentiment, of course, these precious metals will just blow out and throw out all traditional technical analysis out there. So these are sort of things I look for, specifically positive momentum as displayed in these charts. And again, you could see here there is a candle forming to move up. And as long as that negative news is out there, it will start to build. So again, this is gold. So the next one is the odd one. It's very strange. A slight uptrend despite what's been going on in the ECB Why, oh why, is this with the Euro 50 somewhat positive? And I can't explain it, but up until last week, this was my number one instrument outside of silver and gold that's come out of nowhere. But you can see this run up positive, and it's reaching actually the overbought of 70 on the RSI. Boom, and it's going to taper off, which is fine. You can see here, and that's again because of the most recent news since Thursday. Draghi on his program to, with his insanity to have an open-ended program to buy up European bonds. I think that's basically slitting your own throat. This will seriously drop, and that will become obviously a very good shorting opportunity because it looks like it may have hit that top. But from what I'm hearing earlier today, how the American markets aren't really pricing in the negative momentum on this oil. Why? Because U.S. is the largest supplier in the world for oil. So this event may become a blip, but what will keep it going negative is if there is ratchet up news coming out of Trump's tweet keyboard about he's ready to lock in loan, as he said. Yeah, you can expect all these prices to be driven down. So it is definitely news driven. On top of that, you definitely do have a catalyst for some kind of serious event which will drive things down. But not only that, but the bonds to get driven down too. And that's the scary part because all the economic textbooks out there get thrown out because of it. Crazy. Another one that's been doing well, not talked a lot about, but I think this is very short term, is U.S. Treasury long bond 30-year. And again, you only see these drops when the markets are doing well. I mean, the markets last week were reaching highs, at least in my country. The TSX in Canada was very, very, very close to reaching a high. But that's why the Treasury dropped. But you can expect this to go back up. And again, I like from a very simplistic point of view, you can always use the momentum. You can see here it's just bounced off the low end of the RSI band at 30, and then it's bouncing back. So a good entry point to drive back that is obviously the zero momentum on a long-term trend. That's why I break it out. Like here you have 180 days. This one's 90 days. But if you want to do more intraday, we have a 30-day view as well. So here, this may bounce up. And if you are very smart, which I hope you are, a trend that is, again, never talked about, this is a classic reversal potentially because what I've seen is these large wicks in the candles typically can be a reversal. So this may be a reversal, but if the markets respond positively over the next couple of hours in the U.S. futures and the Asian markets, this may actually rebound. Or sorry, if the Asian markets in Europe is positive, this will be driven down. Again, we are in a news-driven environment. So our next one's the 5-year Treasury, similar patterns, but you will get better performance. Why? Because the long bond pays better, as crazy as that sounds, than a 5 or a 2 or a 10-year. That's why the 30 years is better because you have a longer duration on that bond. Again, the performance are the same. And again, you could see here we have a downtrend with a hot market, but these bonds, the Treasury has outperformed that trend. And these are another potential entry point on a long-term basis. Okay, so here, if you followed me, the 618 on the Fibonacci are important too as an entry point. That's what my system uses. So again, same pattern. Wait it out if you want to trade these bonds. Wait it out till it hits the zero momentum. Then you go in. But again, it's all the same as the long-term 30-year. So it's our next one here is the 2-year. Same. I'm not going to go too much into it. It's just I'm repeating myself, but more short-term basis. So what else we got here? Okay. This one's interesting because let me just show you the trend. The France 40 out of Europe has been doing what I'm seeing the strongest out of all the indices or all the markets. It's got this weird trend where it's an uptrend, but it does its classic mean reversion. But you can see here between this period here, doesn't look like I can pull up my little box thing, but between this period here and here, I would definitely say that was a good buying opportunity as the trend goes up. Here, as it comes back and mean reverts, it's not as strong. The upswings are not nor as close as strong, but it may be outperforming. But this is something definitely to watch if that's what you want. But you can see here it's clearly overvalued historically. So if the markets continue to get driven down by this negative news, yeah, France will get hit as well, the France 40. So it's outperformed here on the momentum on the positive side. And you can see here all the different points in February, March was overvalued. But again, that's in correlation with the U.S. performance. But here on a short-term basis, it's had some nice run-ups here from roughly 5250, maybe 5200. See what I'm talking about? These wild, very wide, long wicks in these candles. These are ones to really watch. You can see here, there's this one. So you know that's another confirmed way that you are going to have a driven down price, which it did. Look at this wick. This wick is long on the downside, and then the next day it goes up and then up. So these can be used as a way to measure reversals, and they seem to work. I've seen them time and time again working, but here is your problem right here. So when you do get your trend up on the negative side right here, this guy doesn't perform what you would expect because there's no wick, but yet it is a form of a reversal. Maybe this one or this one could be used, but it's not like here. And those are algos that are driving those that big divergence in those wicks in the candle. So I've been noticing that. Simple as that. It's not a machine learning technique, but it's just something I've noticed. And again, that's on daily data of, let's say, 90 days. Here on the 30-day, it's definitely, as I said earlier, it's petering out. And the momentum definitely confirms that as it's coming off the peaks of that period. Here's another interesting one. I don't care what Trump says. I look at data. China 50 has been doing pretty good lately, especially from this point. A lot of these buy and sell signals, they don't seem to be all that reliable, but the long wicks do. And as you can see here, we are just coming off of our positive upswings above trend, which is really good because that's what you're looking for. So the trade war may be over. I'm not saying it is, but if China the markets in China do really well, that's something to again keep an eye on. This is definitely a more promising sign than France, from what I've seen. So, but again, this could be a range bound. Who knows? But it is meeting its last period here at that peak. Will it break through? Only looking at these little indicators will tell you that. And it's possible because there might be enough market volume to have it stay above 50, touch the 70 on the RSI, and then just quickly drop back because, the downside would be much faster. And it's above trend too. It's above zero, positive momentum. So China's an interesting one to watch. But here, again, this negative bar is something, it just depends upon how the news plays out. But long term, it's quite interesting what's happening. And again, I forgot to mention here, right here below trend. Continuing along, here's a 10-year finally. It's a steep drop. It'll probably get driven up depending upon news. So let's see what else is in here. think Australia will be the next one. Australia Index. XPT Platinum. So again, why buy a very expensive metal when you're getting pretty good performance on the poor man's metal, silver? And it seems to be outperforming the gold as well. So here it's gone into a range bound. It may get moved up, but this doesn't excite me all that much. Platinum. Let me see here. What else we got? I think this. Yeah, here we go. Here's Australia. Australia is very similar to France. Above trend. It's a little stronger than France. Not quite as strong as China, but this is good if you want to have a higher probability of making cash, because over the last couple of weeks, I've not seen the better performance with the U.S. markets at all. It's been China, Australia, and France. So that's pretty well it. And again, how you can know if you are getting decent performance. All these green bars, definitely. I'd be watching for those little wicks. They tell a story in itself. So very, very interesting. Here's the UK. It's not as strong since Boris Johnson's come in with all the disarray that the parliament is there. I need to say no more. This is becoming a dog. This bond, and there was Germany in there as well, but it's dropped off. So it's precious metals right now that are the performers. Let's see if Germany's in here. Here's Germany, same thing, but the U.S. long-term 30 is the one. If you're going to do it on the bond, that's the one to watch. But again, no point in talking about that. That's pretty well it. And again, that all comes from my service here called the, let me just see here. Yeah, all I gotta do really is just go to quantlabs.net trading, read if you like, sign up again. The cheapest right now is $67. The price will be going up in the next few days as this thing's performing really good. I'll also be showing, hopefully later today, the MetaTrader 4 EA for Forex. And I will say that Forex has been pretty quiet. I don't know why, but what can you do? On that, have a good day, and hopefully this will help you out. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching and the loving. I appreciate it. See you.